Hey guys, welcome to our combined 4-player Peacemaker season finale review and season 1 as a whole review. Let's just jump right in. We have episode 8. It's Cow or Never. And oh my god, yes! I'm just gonna say it up front. My man is in this episode. You knew I was gonna be excited. Yeah. Superman shows up. I kind of mentioned at some point that I'm like, in one of our reviews, I was like, wouldn't it be crazy if the Justice League showed up? But I said it passingly because I didn't think that they would have. I don't know. Because the thing with WB is like the contract disputes and what the fuck is going on with Superman and Batman. And unfortunately, he is obscured. He is in darkness.
Shadows.
He's in shadows. Fucking WB, DC, just give Henry Cavill the fucking respect he deserves. And it would be an 11 out of 10 if it was Henry right there. But anyways, so as you can tell, I fucking loved this season finale. It had a lot to sort of pay off and to try to stick the landing. And I think it fucking nailed the landing. What do y'all think?
I thought it did a good job, but it's still missing for me. I didn't like it as much as you did, but it's still enjoyable watch.
What?
I just felt like it was missing something.
Hell no. Okay. What about you, Alex?
Yeah, I liked it. I think it was pretty solid, just like the whole season. Like, this is not something that like blew me away with the quality of its like the story writing. I still think it's funny. I think the action is good. I like the character dynamics that they've got together. It's more of the same, which is good. It's like super solid, great TV.
Yeah.
Baby, what did you feel about the last episode?
Well,
being next to me, watching it in bed.
Like you, it had Jason Momoa, so Aquaman. So I was
being biased.
I know. Knowing really nothing about Peacemaker and not being a comic book fan, I really, really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed John Cena. He kind of blew me away because I'm the only. He was in WWE.
Yeah, and he had a movie, I keep bringing it up with Joe, like The Marine. I think one movie here or there, so his acting chops have really...
and the characters, they were all really likable, and I was engaged, which is hard to do. And I think this is a ploy for you to
get you into more DC stuff. Yes. See, that's and this was directed by James Gunn. The previous episodes had different directors, right? And I could definitely tell that everything felt right again to me. The feeling, the jokes were hitting. The action was amazing. This episode has more action than a lot of the other episodes, and I thought it was satisfying. So I'm really surprised that Joe and Alex didn't like it a little bit more. I thought that we were all going to unanimously agree that this was a banger of an episode, probably one of the best episodes overall, if not the best. So let's go ahead and actually, it wraps up. Does it wrap up the story in a satisfying way for you, Joe?
It got everything, like it got to point A to point B the way it was supposed to, but I just felt like it was missing some parts.
What parts do you think were missing?
I think it was, I guess... I just wanted more episodes. I guess that's what I wanted. I wanted it to be.
You didn't want it to end.
I didn't want it to end because this one was like kind of quick.
Too condensed.
It was too condensed at the very end with the whole cow scene.
That was like the last episode where it was only 35 minutes. You were like,
fuck. Oh, what's going to happen? It's like, oh, it's gone. Okay, well, that was pretty
I have
quick.
good news for you, Joe. It has now been officially confirmed. We all kind of knew it already, but they just announced today
that it's not to.
Yeah, exactly. Because there are several plot threads that aren't necessary, that are kind of left out in the open, setting up, but I still think it was satisfying. It wasn't like there was no answers to this particular thing. We got all answers, and it resolved in a satisfying way for me, and that's why I'm glowing. Alex, do you think it was satisfying?
I was super satisfied with the butterfly plot, but the issue that I had is what happened at the very end. I don't think It is not how I would have wanted to set up season 2.
Okay.
They are wildly changing up the formula for the next season based on like how the story kind of ends, and it worries me a little bit because I think they had a winning formula, and I think too often we get series where they got something that works, it's a hit, it gets renewed, and they're like, hey, by the way, we're changing how the whole fucking show works, and it has me more worried. I'm not taking a bunch of points away from it. I still really like this episode. Like I'm in like the 9-ish range for something everything that happened here. It's just. We've seen incredibly satisfying endings, like they absolutely nailed it. And I was like, look, they got almost everything right. And I don't think there's anything wrong with something only getting something right on the 9.
Yeah, and talking about changing stuff radically, there was another show that's been confirmed as well with James Gunn at the helm. 2 things. James Gunn is going to write and direct all of the episodes in season 2 here forward, and I think that is a strength.
Yes.
Because some of the weaker episodes in this season were directed by other directors. I think James should just handle it himself. I think he had enough fun here that he was like, let's do this a second time, and I'll take full control of it. Because sequels are often harder to, do than the first one, right? It's really hard. He's doing another show where he says it's in a different genre. It's less of a comedy. And I'm like, ooh, I don't know if that's going to work.
If it's hyper violent, I'm in.
If it's hyper violent, cool, like The Boys, right? But I just think that the comedy is what sort of plays as a counterweight to some of the serious moments and really elevates it and gives me this good feeling. Like the music you say was, I caught you singing it, because the theme
stuck in
song.
your head.
You start dancing.
I know.
Like this.
Yeah. Okay. So let's just go ahead around the table and give the final verdicts for just this episode, not the season overall. We'll do that next.
Okay.
So just episode
Just
8,
this
Joe.
episode, I think you're probably going to be at a 10 because you saw a silhouette.
What? What are you talking about?
You saw a silhouette of Wonder Woman and Superman.
What? That is not true,
No,
Joe.
I still enjoyed this one. This is like an 8 for me, but like Alex
An
said,
8.
there's still some stuff that like are kind of left undone. But I guess we're gonna go to that on season 2 with I always forget her name. I don't know how to say it.
Harcourt?
Adebayo.
Adebayo. Only know that because of adobo.
Yeah, I remember
My
that.
favorite
Like she
seasoning.
was kicking ass at the end. I'm like, wait, where did
Yeah.
this come from?
Yeah.
So it was kind of like
I guess it was always inside of her, Joe, and she was just uncomfortable in her own role.
She passed her combat training at age 14.
That's what they had said, and we were like, nah, we don't believe that.
Yeah, exactly. You don't really see anything, but this one, she just goes all out. I was like, okay,
I
all
like
right.
I like that.
I
I
like
was
that.
like,
part,
yeah.
Joe.
I was like, where did this come from? I'm kind of curious about this and what's going to happen with this at the end. But there's some stuff like with her storyline and her mom.
Adebayo, yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I mean, I already kind of. Oh, you said 8?
8.
Yeah, I kind of said that this is a 9 for me. I think that the action scene was really fun. I loved that they kind of mixed things up with Economos being just an oaf that doesn't know what he's doing, and even though you kind of see this stuff coming, it's like James Gunn has his formula, but it works. And so it's like his formula, and I know you see what's going to happen, and he does. It was worse than I thought with his injury, and then I mean the action scene was incredible. It was super well choreographed. There was some ridiculous shit in there that I absolutely loved. It was just like this. It was this close for getting like a 10. It just isn't quite. I mean, I don't actually give a shit about Superman showing up. That's not. I know that may probably pushes it up for you, but like I don't actually care. I love that they were able to get Momoa and the Flash in there.
And that joke in.
And then. Yeah, especially.
I don't know where that came from.
I am shocked. WB.
I love that joke, man. They let him do whatever he wants. That's why I'm. That's why I'm excited about that part. That the comedy doesn't suddenly change because the Justice League is here. It's the same fucking thing, and he makes a quib at Aquaman, and even Flash is kind of on Peacemaker's side. So, anyways, okay, so 9 out of 10. What about you, babe?
I'm going to give it probably a 9.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess, disappointed in the last 2 episodes because the flow for me was off. It seemed too rushed, but I really liked
Same here, yeah.
And the action, of course, was great. It had the jokes. I laughed out loud a lot, which I love. It doesn't take itself too seriously. And I just loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Same here. Okay, obviously, spoiler, I'm giving it a 10 out of 10. But it's not because what Joe and Alex just said that the Justice League shows up. I was already, having a good time with the episode. That puts it over. What it does do is it goes from 9 to 10 for me with that final joke. The fact that WB and DC will just let James Gunn have that surprise cameo, do whatever he wants within the universe. And what he did within this universe is make a piece of shit character, make me like a piece of shit character. I didn't really like Peacemaker much in the Suicide Squad. Didn't really see why he would get his own HBO Max series. And James Gunn pulled it off. I mean, it went from
that's what he does.
grumpy old man to this is one of my favorite characters in the DC universe now. And I'm excited for season 2. I'm excited for what more cameos could show up. Disappointed in WB for not having it be Henry Cavill or Gal Gadot, because you notice they only got 2, which is the 2 that are going to have movies coming up, Aquaman 2 and Flashpoint, right? But overall, I thought it was a satisfying ending because, again, like everybody said, the action was satisfying. The jokes were working. They even had time to put in a little twist there and make us go, okay. Yeah. I'm looking at it at a different point of view from the motivations of the butterflies. And then Peacemaker makes a decision, and I still think it's the right decision. And I think it ends in a satisfying way and sets up potential things for season 2. Of course, I want to see more, but I'm not taking points away from this because I want to see more of this universe, and we're getting more of the universe. So 10 out of 10 for me on that final episode. It sticks the landing.
I kind of wish he made a joke to Wonder Woman, like, stop looking at me, or some bullshit to bring that back.
That was a missed opportunity, right?
You can't address her, though.
That might have been right, because they didn't have the actress.
Like, hey, stop looking at me.
Yeah,
or
and then the shadow would have been like...
Or if you'd been walking away, it's like, did you catch her checking me out?
Yeah.
That would have been
a great callback.
Yeah.
That would have been a great callback.
So we'll give our season 1 overall verdicts after we go through the episode. So now let's jump into the specific plot points. So at the beginning, Adebayo is trying to apologize. Here's where jokes are working, and he's acting like a child. He just... every time she tries to apologize. And, of course, Vigilante jumps in, too. He's doing his because they're all kids. Anyways, and it tries to resolve the different backstories, because she's like, look, it's not your fault that your brother died. You're carrying around all this guilt that your brother died, and that's why he has the motto of...
Peace
at all costs because of his brother. And he makes a vow, right? And that plays into the episode later. And so Vigilante is like my second best friend. He tells Adebayo eventually that she's his 5th best friend, because Eagly is his second. And I guess he puts Harcourt and economics above her, I think. Yeah, because that would make her. And then Adebayo calls her mom. Amanda Waller for backup. And it was at that moment that I was like, yeah, I think maybe the Justice League is going to show up when she asked for backup. Can't you send me backup? Mom this, mom
I didn't
that.
I thought it was going to be somebody else. But...
like a B team or
like
something.
Someone
like
who's just slightly above them.
I was like, there's no way they were going to do it.
They probably
just
would.
drop Weasel off. It's like, what are you going to do?
That would have been funny.
Eat the keys.
And then they get the helmets together. So the whole plot of this one is to take out the cow. And so they bring a bunch of helmets. What helmets do we got here, Alex? Do you remember?
Anti-gravity, torpedo, sonic blast.
Don't forget the most important one, the scabies.
Yeah.
He gives everybody around him scabies. Damn, we didn't get to use that helmet. I wonder where that helmet went. But he tries, but they lose the anti-gravity one, which would have been the most helpful one, so he can plan a bomb very easily, because Adebayo is explaining her plan, and she accidentally says activate anti-gravity in the thing. And I was like, okay. That wouldn't happen, right? Because it's like voice activation. You didn't fucking make sure that your helmet only recognizes your voice.
Well, the dad made it. So
I know. Well, why wouldn't his dad make the helmet?
I know, even more reason
right.
to be.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. But
it's funny.
It's funny.
We're hand waving for the funniness.
Yeah.
So she says it flies off. He's like, fuck. Okay, so now they do joke at Green Arrow's expense. He's a fucking bottom, I guess. What was that?
He
was
dresses,
like
he dresses
a
up
brony?
as he goes to furry things as a bottom with a 4-inch asshole.
Yeah, and and Aquaman fucks fish, but he's like, no, stop making this stuff up, she says, and I like that. And she's like, finally addresses, like, you just fucking shit all over the heroes, right? Because you have insecurities. And Economics is like, actually, no, that the Green Arrow thing is true.
Yeah.
That's fucked up. And Green
Arrow's
Arrow's like, that is not true.
He's broke-ass Batman they invented for no reason in the 50s.
Ouch.
Green
Green Arrow fans.
If you look, it's a fact. They didn't want to dilute Superman and Batman, and so what they did is they made broke-ass Superman and broke-ass Batman to be a part of the Justice League. That's where Martian Manhunter and Green Arrow came from.
Ouch.
It's the truth.
Eagerly takes. Well, I didn't know that. According to you, Eagerly takes helmet off and they try to get him. I was like, oh, cool. Eagly's gonna get his own moment. It's gonna be triumphant. And once again, another
I knew
fucking
that's
great
he's
joke.
like, oh, he's doing it. He's like, no, it's not gonna happen. He's like, yep.
Flies off to the right and explodes. No, flies off to the right, drops the helmet, and and he's like, fuck. So they have to rally together to get it done themselves. And, we get a mention of, why did you think that, the eagle hugging him is a sign of anything? It's like, the fuck, because we were questioning that too. And
It's
she's
a
like,
miracle.
why wouldn't you think you would run away? And she's like, oh, fuck, I guess I didn't look at it like that. So he's poking fun at his own serious moments, you know what I mean, that you can question. It's that cool script doctor type of stuff where it's like, wouldn't it be funny if you poked fun at something? And he manages to think of these things and then write it in there. So I think he's a great writer and a great director. And now what we have here is Peacemaker starting to see his father as a ghost, and he uses kind of a blowgun, and Harcourt sees it. And so obviously he has trauma there that he's going to be dealing with in the future. And
Daddy issues.
Yeah, daddy issues. And that's probably what you were talking about, Alex, when you're worried about season 2, this setup. No, that's not what you're saying.
No.
I think that would be a good thing to keep going. Not only do you still have the Terminator actor.
Oh, he's great.
But he's just fucking awesome. But maybe post-mortem, he can change his ways and realize how big of a piece of shit he is, because it's actually,
Let's finally get some peace.
It's in John's head, right? Making peace with his father, even though his father probably would never make peace with him. But you know what I mean?
No,
figuratively.
Yeah,
exactly.
tried to kill him.
No, so I think that would be cool for season 2. What were you talking about?
That he's actually a ghost. I actually want him to be haunted by the actual sentient spirit of his father, and it's not in his mind. And he has super secret space clan member powers or something. And he's like, I will haunt you
That's
forever.
too over the top.
No, Joe, actually, I think that, James Gunn might do something.
No, Autobio blows up the whole thing and just says, this is an investigation. This is who we are. My mother's a war criminal. We have to do all these, and just blows up the whole universe, and so it can't exist.
Yeah, that was kind of thrown in there towards the end.
And then she could just kill Peacemaker in a second, and she would. Because that's what Amanda Waller would do. She'd go, all right, guy, fuck you. Peacemaker's
But I think
dead.
it's tied in there where her mom is shocked by her daughter. Her daughter's no longer a little mouse. Her daughter is her own kind of strong-willed person. And Amanda's going to find a way around it. And honestly, the government needs the Suicide Squad, so I don't think it's going to have any ramifications of dismantling the program or anything like that. But we'll see.
But then why, if it doesn't have impact, then why real throw it in? Like, that's what I'm getting is like
to clear. I think to clear the team's name. Like, they were forced to do this and they were forced to do that, and it's not necessarily their fault. And she's shifting blame to her mother, while simultaneously, because they saved everybody, then it will be excused. So I think it kind of still wraps itself up.
Because she planted the diary, it's like
her
penance or...
Yeah, exactly. It's showing I think it was done for that. Like, one moment above. Not only here's an apology, Peacemaker, but I'm going to go one better
sending
than
my
that.
mother to The Hague to be tried for war crimes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
that's going to be unresolved. That's like something's...
That's going to be unresolved? Well, but that was right at the end. It might be resolved in season 2. But I don't need a resolution to that right then, though, Joe. It's like, that's not one of the things. It's like, oh, fuck this whole thing. I'm not disappointed with it that she brought it up, because it wasn't resolved instantly in that episode. Anyway, so economics has to get over his fear of not being able to really contribute to the team. They dress him up in a cop outfit, which was wet as shit because,
He shit himself when he died.
Yeah.
They killed him.
Peacemaker brings up warrior. This is an unspoken warrior thing that people shit is diarrhea. So I had to clean it. Hey, man, I'd be like, thank you, dude. Not fucking complaining about it. So anyways, it goes in there, and he has to act like a fucking alien. So that leads to several funny scenes, including a scene where he has to admit that his beard has been dyed the whole time and that he was just trying to look cool. And the alien believes him.
Lonely.
When he's first going in, it's like, what are you doing? Where are you going? It's like, I'm going to go to the cow. And it's like, why? Because of this bag? Okay. Because, I don't know, they're aliens.
Right,
They're like, whatever. I was just checking in. But he kind of loses his cool a little bit in there. He's like, fuck this, when he sees a cow and everything. And so he's like running out. So he leaves a bag in an area not quite where it needs to be, because you want to just set the bag as close to the cow, boom, and your mission is done, kind of, because the rest will just die off. Unfortunately, he fucks it up. They realize that he is a agent, and so they all start coming after him, and Adebayo blows one of the helmets up, but it's really kind of too far away to kill anybody, and I thought that, I was like, he was going to become a butterfly or die or something. But conveniently, because the helmet explodes, every single one of the butterflies then turns around. I guess it makes sense because that's their food source, and they have to see.
That's their livelihood. Yeah.
But we know from that single explosion that maybe it probably didn't kill the cow completely, but they don't know that.
Exactly.
So they run over there, and that's when she hits the thing again. And they set that up. They said it had multiple charges and everything. And so they're able to kill a lot of them over here at that moment. And then that's when we get our big action scene. It was awesome. It was graphic. I mean, you know how I'm saying, I always want to see Wolverine, and they only did it in one or two films where, if you're using claws, if you're using blades, like fucking limbs need to be flying off, and James Gunn does that with Vigilante. Heads are flying. Arms are flying, fucking great. Big, great action scene, satisfying. And but eventually, as he goes to destroy the cow, Vigilante and Hardcore eventually goes down. They get shot up. And I like that it's realistic, because I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, look, there has to be some tension. Maybe another team member maybe has to die. So they tease that a little bit. It make it seem like Hardcore is going to die. She's like, takes multiple shots, coughing up blood. Adebayo goes over there to help her. And Vigilante takes some shots in the back. I was like, oh, fuck, is he going to be paralyzed or something? He goes down. And then this is when Adebayo has her moment. She's like, look, these are my friends, and fuck, we have to do something. So she grabs 2 guns. And Economics is like, don't fucking go over there, you crazy? And he's like, and she runs, and you can see him wanting to help. He's like, fuck, okay, I'm going to go. But he fucking trips over the goddamn fence. And he trips over the fence so hard that he breaks his leg. His bone is sticking out of his whole goddamn body.
He had his moment to shine, and then
Right.
that was it.
Well, he gets
the bag.
He gets one more moment. You didn't notice? He gets one more moment. So Adebayo goes fucking John Wick on everybody.
I was born for this.
Yeah. And I was born for this. Gets the moment. But then he does show up. So it turns out he crawled the whole fucking way with the torpedo helmet. So he gets another little thing that he's still contributing to the team, even though he's kind of a fuck up.
He killed a gorilla with a chainsaw.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't need to do shit the rest of the season.
Exactly. And
alien
he beat up Judo
Yeah.
Master by slamming into him with a car. I thought that was enough.
Beat, motherfucker.
You're a part
crunch.
of the. You're a part of the team.
Yeah, I thought Hardcore was going to get a butterfly infected as
Me too.
well. I was
Me
like,
too.
oh, no, but then she comes
So
in
that
and
is what
saves-
happens. Yeah, Adebayo. I like that you fucking hold, because I was thinking, you know what she should do right there? Just pull it, not just like
Yeah, no,
crush
that
it or
was a
throw
great
it. No,
scene.
she was like, pfft, yeah,
pull the
just
wings off,
fucking
just
10
throw
out
it.
of 10 material, 9 out of 10 material, and then I'm already at a 9, right? And then so they do that, and then Goff does this surprising thing. Suddenly says, so that okay. hold on. So there's a cave-in, and that cave-in actually piles on top of Peacemaker. He's not Superman level strong, so he's not able to push it all off. He tries, and so AngryJoe has to show up with the human torpedo. I thought maybe she'd put it on and like fucking torpedo through there to push him, but she's more crawling. She manages to find him, but it's not AngryJoe saving her, is Goff. And then, so they're fighting a little bit. He's fighting her. We've seen one-on-one a butterfly can take Peacemaker. So it's a losing battle a little bit. And she's choking him. And then AngryJoe shows up and does a human torpedo. And I was like, oh, cool. This is going to be so cool. Set up in my head. And then she slams into the other side of the cave. And I was
no,
like,
don't do it.
I was like, good, James. This is how you subvert expectations in a fun way. And Goff actually says, you know what? I have no reason to fight you. Bullshit, number one. Because they're all there to destroy the fucking cow. And she knows that Peacemaker's there. However, there's a reason for it. And that's another thing I like about his writing is it makes sense. He sets up these character turns. So she takes him to the cow, and she tries to appeal to the goodness in him that she even saw, or he even saw, in the jar. Because I was like, one plot point never really went anywhere. It's like, well, maybe Myrn was the bad guy because the butterflies did the peace sign, right?
In the jar.
In the jar. And that's brought up again where she's like, the reason why we're doing this invasion is because our planet was destroyed by our leaders and stuff, and we needed a new planet, so we came here. And we started seeing your leaders doing this kind of stupid shit, and so that's why we're in the high-level ranking governments and whatever, and we're trying to steer things right. And it's like, please help us. And they want he to be the third set of hands to teleport them away. What did you guys think about this reveal? Did you think that he would maybe support them?
I mean, no one believes that they're
I
the
didn't
bad
know.
guys. So,
Yeah.
I mean, like, I knew that they'd be like, well, from our perspective, you're the bad guys. It's like, yeah, I knew that was kind of coming.
Yeah, exactly.
But, yeah, I didn't expect him to help them. But I thought it was going to be for way more of a lowbrow reason than when he reveals later on. He's like, no, I actually almost didn't like when he's like, I killed them because I thought they would hurt you. I wanted him to say something dumb like, I don't like bugs. Or just something dumb. It felt like it fit the character a little bit better.
Yeah. But yeah, they were strengthening the fact that now he'll do anything, not for peace and justice, but now he'll do anything for his friends. So he shoots her and then makes the AngryJoe voice activation, do the human torpedo through the cow's heart, kills the cow. Now they have no more food. So any bugs that are left in the world are going to fucking die out if they don't manage to get in their little spaceships and go back home, which is apparently ruined. So anyways, he kills the cow, and Goff survives, though. As you know, it's coming out of the mouth, and he looks over at it, chooses not to kill it. And then that's when we get our scene of when they're all hurt, and Harcourt is still alive, but just barely, and Vigilante shows up, what's up, guys? And he's hurt, and it's like, God, okay, yeah, there's some plot armor involved here, but honestly, I didn't want any of these characters to die. We already got one major member of the team to be killed, because there's 17 members, and so Myrn died, and the 7th is Eagly. If you're wondering. So the Justice League fucking shows up, but he's like, you're late, dickheads, being Peacemaker. And he's like, go fuck yourself. Go fuck a fish, man. And he's like, what is this? Who started this rumor? And Flash is like, yeah, but you do fuck fish. It's like, what? How do you know that, Flash? Are you spying on Aquaman?
You can go back in time.
Yeah.
And stuff. I don't know. He watches them.
And then I had to. I went on a little mini rant. Melissa knows. I started talking about what the fuck, man. Why they put him in shadow? It's like just give the guy his fucking contract. Like, why do we have to do this shit? But even Gal Gadot, who we know is gonna get another movie, is in shadow too. So that's how they can kind of wipe it away. No, we're not doing it because we're in contract disputes with Henry. It's just we can only afford these two, and these two are the movies that are coming up. So let's do a joke with them. I don't know what went on there. If all 4 of them, showed up in Glory, it would have been fucking amazing. It would have been 11 out of 10. Anyways, it wraps up in a nice way. So now we go to the individual wrap-up scenes. Well, first he says, I did it because I did it for my friends. Mm-hmm. And then he makes up with Adebayo. Adebayo betrayed him, but then they make up, and he's like, you know what? Don't tell V, but you're my second best friend after Eagly. And then she kind of exposes the whole suicide mission thing and her mother, and we get a cameo from actual Amanda Waller, because I was thinking, okay, are we going to see a scene of her on the other side of the phone as she's handing the phone back and forth? I was like, okay, they probably didn't get her, but they did get her because she was at the beginning of the series, and now she got her at the end. And then Peacemaker goes to Harcourt's side, and she, puts her hand out as if they, to hold her hand, their potential relationship plot line for season 2. Economics, I don't know where he went.
He went back to the home base of the Suicide Squad at the prison.
Okay, because there was a prison, and I was like, okay. So he goes back to his office, basically, and he has...
the sewer he works in.
Yeah. And he goes back to his menial fucking job, but he's got the picture of the team there, and he's like, I'm a part of a team now. And then... we do one plot line that we thought was like, why do you keep putting this in here? The Judo Master, Joe. So Judo Master.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Another thing, it's like, what is his purpose?
I don't know.
It's like they say, it's like, well, we explained to Judo Master what we're doing.
Yes,
so now
I
he's
did
on board
appreciate
with us.
that. I was like, don't fucking finish the series without telling me something about Judo Master, because we thought it was a butterfly. Can't be a butterfly. Loves his Cheetos. Flaming hot. You love flaming flat Cheetos.
Thank you.
And but. Yeah, he was on board because he's like, look, I don't want our country to go to shit and our planet to go to shit. So that's why he was there.
But he's crying. His purpose now?
Exactly. He's crying.
Peacemaker.
Yeah, so that will probably be set
Just
up
to
in
kill
season
him?
2. The Judo Master will come back, and I guarantee he's going to join the team. I thought at some point they would have him join the team
too.
here, but no.
Because of the way the intro looks
Exactly.
like, it's like, okay,
He's
this
holding him
gotta
on
be-
his
shoulder.
He's
Yeah,
gonna join the team.
Yeah. And then he cries at all the dead butterflies in the aftermath, and then V and Peacemaker hang out again, throw some bombs in some cars, and their way to blow off steam. And then Harcourt is learning how to walk again, so we know that she's not disabled or not able to do her badassery in season 2, because
She'll
people
come
are like,
back
is she going to be
stronger
a
than
part of
ever.
season 2? Yes, I think so. Especially since Melissa brought this point up. Who is Harcourt, the actress?
Oh yeah, because I was Googling James Gunn, and I saw on Wikipedia that he's partners with Harcourt.
Yeah.
the actress. Who
I
plays
didn't know
Harcourt.
that. So they're in a relationship, and I was like, oh, that's why she's in it. So they've been dating. I was like, well, did they meet on this set and then they got together? No, they've been dating since 2015. And apparently, James Gunn was like, but I thought James Gunn was, he had dated Pam from The Office
He was
before.
married
He was,
to
oh,
Pam.
he's married
He
to
was
Pam from The
married.
Office. But then didn't she get with Jim?
I don't
She's
think
married
so.
to someone else on the show.
Okay, that was right. That was just on the show that she got with Jim. Anyways, so we're definitely going to see her in season 2. Goff visits Peacemaker. So it flies in, and he's got a little bit of the juice left, the food left, but that's it. So that's a pretty depressing ending, but it's left hanging. Maybe butterflies can factor in a cameo or a small way in season 2, or Goff is just going to die. And
He's probably got more jars in there.
I don't think so. I think that they made it a purpose for, okay, that's the last of the liquid. This is a filmmaker language showing you that this is it. If he's got a bunch of jars in there, then maybe it can become a pet for a while. But I think it's more like a depressing thing, and they'll resolve that in season 2. Then the dad sits down next to him, really resigned. I think his attitude here is a little bit of a teaser and a hint towards what's going to go on in season 2, like the conflict and eventually a resolution and a makeup between all of this emotional damage and hurt. So because of all that, I was like at a 9 out of 10, and I'm a 10 out of 10. So let's just go for that episode. Let's go to season ratings overall, and
Season
that's it.
ratings. This is
Season 1.
going to be a 9 for me. I really enjoy the action, the comedy. James Gunn does it again.
Yeah,
He made me care about a character I didn't care about twice. Peacemaker and Vigilante.
Yeah.
Those guys are fucking amazing.
I
I,
do
love them
Vigilante.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was a 9. It grew on me. At the beginning, I was like, I don't care about this character. He's so fucking stupid, but he became a lovable, stupid character that I grew to love.
Mm-hmm.
9 overall for me.
For me, it was something that kind of came out of left field. I wasn't excited for this series. I didn't necessarily. I mean, we had a whole. We have a really busy schedule with all the other shows that we're watching, but this quickly became the one that I was actually looking forward to watching.
Yeah, every week.
And so I was struggling between an 8 or a 9, but I think that just the fact that it completely surprised me, and I mean, for Guardians of the Galaxy, I don't even care about that kind of thing, and seeing how he can just take characters and make them endearing and interesting is really nice. And I think his combination of action and humor done the right way is kind of what the DC. I mean, DC's a mess, and I think they're putting out
in live action films.
Yeah, but I mean,
Yes,
any
asterisks.
but it's like we've seen so much garbage from them. They have people that are writing movies for them. It seems like they're doing it by committee, and this is something.
Except for Batman. Outside of Batman, Batman's doing great.
The new one.
No, the old one. I love the Nolan North Batmans. I even love the Michael Keaton Batmans.
Yeah.
Batman's doing great. And honestly, Superman doing great too. Okay, so what we're saying is the DCEU is a mess.
Yeah,
I'm saying
the DCEU. I mean, I think the last two movies with Batman in it have been fucking awful. Like Batman v Superman, like all of those movies, just most of them have been bad. And so to see someone come in and kind of breathe life into it and show that they can be done in a way, and not the Marvel way. Like they can be their own thing and have it be separate. And so this is nice. And so I really like this series. I'm hoping they can do the same thing in season 2.
9 out of 10.
9 out of 10.
Okay, well, I didn't initially watch this to review it,
Yeah.
so I feel like this is
I
a little
you in here.
unfair. This is probably also so I'm not on my phone watching these things, so I have to pay attention. I see you. I don't have a lot to compare it to because I don't watch a lot of superhero. I don't know the DC. I don't know the Marvel.
But that's why I want your opinion, because as somebody from the outside who's not familiar with the comic books and the DC universe, and then boom, you're thrown into the middle of it. How does that work out? How did
I found myself really intrigued. There was a lot of substance to it. I was surprised. Everything that he does is like the manifestation of his brother. The hair metal and the I don't know.
He's like a big kid, you know what I
Yeah,
mean? And you can see why, because he never got time to fucking fully develop.
Yeah.
And all the piece of shit stuff that he did in the content that you didn't get to see is somewhat redeemed here, and you start to see, why he was the way he was.
Right. And the humor was on point for me. I laughed, and I was very surprised.
See, this is why I'm excited about these types of shows, and I do a lot of reviews for it because it's got everything: action, comedy, actually pretty good emotional moments, and great, what do you call it? Imaginative scenes. And James Gunn's really good at that. So what would you give it out of 10?
Out of 10, for
Season 1.
Season 1, I'd have to give it a 9
Yes.
overall.
All right. And I also am giving it a 9. There was a moment there where I was like, can I give this a 10? But as I go through some of the various episodes, some episodes, what we would call the worst episode. There's no real worst episode. It's just some episodes aren't quite as good as the others. The lowest it ever really got for me was like a 7,
It was a different director as well, too. Right?
Yeah, and different directors.
That's what kind of makes it
exactly.
wavy.
And it kind of a little bit there, but it's all, going up and down at a very high level. And so that's why I think, if you were to average all these out, it probably comes out to 8, but I do want to bump it to that 9 because of the difficulty of taking the most obscure DC character. And I'm telling you, none of us knew about Peacemaker, you know what I mean? Before the fact. Who? Right. And then he did that same thing for Star-Lord kind of thing, right? Yeah. So he is a proven quantity, and it's a breath of fresh air from, like Alex was saying, Zack Snyder. Look, no, I don't want Zack Snyder anywhere near DC anymore, and I would like for James Gunn to become, sort of a caretaker of some of these characters, which he already is for his own stuff, Suicide Squad and upcoming Peacemaker shows and things like that. But I trust people more like James and less like Zack Snyder. I wish James, and I think people have asked him before to handle Superman, and he's had answers that aren't quite encouraging, but I think that he could really do Superman justice. And James, you're the one that could save Superman because HBO is giving you a lot of power. WB is getting you a lot of power. Like, what would you like to do next, James Gunn? Just say Henry Cavill Superman series. Let's go.
Polka Dot Man intro. He always picks like the weirdest thing, so he's just like, no, man, I want to do a 10-series thing on Polka Dot's brother. It's like,
he
what?
could do Superman with what's his name? The guy who has a weird ass name, the little leprechaun, Mr. Superman. His
leprechaun. Oh yeah, Mixel Sid. Yeah. I can't even say his name right, so I would be defeated by him because you're supposed to say his name. Anyways, that would be amazing. Like, I imagine all these great DC animation, because DC in the animated area has always killed it. And this feels like a live action version of those DC animations that always kill it.
Well, I did watch Batman. I say, like, I don't know anything, but when I was, I don't know, 10, 11, I watched the Batman
animated series.
I just remember that.
Kevin
Yeah.
Conroy.
Fucking amazing.
That was amazing.
That's like a 10 out of 10 for us. And you agree?
It's not like
definitely.
it is a 10 out of 10.
She loves
definitely.
Batman, the animated series. All right, guys. That's going to be it for us. Thank y'all so much. Tell us what you thought of Season 1. Do you think Season 2 can be as good or better? I have faith in James Gunn. I think it's going to be as good, but sequels are very hard to do. And we'll see what that other series is that he's going to helm. I am encouraged that he's writing and directing every single episode in Season 2. And I hope that as we go forward, we've seen what they're bringing out in 2022, babe. They're bringing out Flash gets his own movie. Aquaman gets a sequel. Dwayne Johnson shows up in the DC universe with Black Adam, which will connect eventually to Shazam. And we're hoping Superman, because Dwayne actually talks about Superman a lot, and he wants to go up against him. And we're hoping the studios will be like, well, that's The Rock.
Yeah,
we got to let him
right.
do it, right? And then the final thing is Batman, of course, with
So
Tom.
the woman is
What's
next
his name?
year?
Tom Holland.
Tom Patterson.
Who?
Yeah.
Robert Patterson.
Robert
okay.
Patterson. So.
Tom
Yeah.
Holland could be Batman. It totally fits. Casting him as all
He could
sorts of
be
inappropriate
anything.
shit anyway.
You just
His
fucking put
movies
him in
aren't doing
anything.
so well,
No.
and we're going to be reviewing Uncharted here soon. So, all right, guys, check out that video, and thank you so much for watching this one. We will see you guys on the next Angry Joe show. Bye, guys.